Hello, I'm Keith Thomas and I'm the CEO of South Australian Native Title Services. I'm just going to talk a little bit about how native title has impacted on Aboriginal people in South Australia. Native title has benefited traditional owners in a significant way in South Australia. It's created opportunity for people economically, socially, culturally, and through the environment as well. I think probably paramount or most important has been the recognition of people as a nation, as traditional owners, where that recognition has been fragmented in the past. And this is an opportunity for Aboriginal people to rebuild their nations, and it's something that SANS is very much focused on. So, in terms of native title, it's been really important for groups, especially when they've got their native title and leading up to it, there's the right to negotiate. It's probably the most important aspect of their native title because it means that developers and mining companies and the like must come and talk to those traditional owner groups. This has created opportunity for some groups because they're able to get an income which helps them to become sustainable. It's a bit harder for groups if there's no sort of activity on their claim, but SANS is working with those groups to look at how we can create and build wealth and look at how those groups can become sustainable into the future. I think the recent announcement by the South Australian State Government of a treaty offers an excellent opportunity for all Aboriginal nations in South Australia to reach a position of being sustainable and managing their own affairs. And I think the other benefits for traditional owners in South Australia has been that people have been able to get back to country. It has identified people's connection to country, and it has identified people's cultural practices and links to their law and custom, and so it's been significant, I think, in resurrecting a lot of that for many groups in South Australia. Certainly the groups have always had that law and custom, but native title has enabled people to come together as a nation and set up their prescribed body corporate, the PBC, to manage their native title rights and interests on a community basis. So it involves everybody. So that's been really fantastic for traditional owners in terms of native title. In terms of the younger generation, I think native title has offered great opportunity there because, as I said, it's brought people together, and I think for younger people it gives them a greater sense of identity about who they are as a group and as a nation and how they relate with other Aboriginal people in South Australia. So it's been very beneficial, I think, for the younger generation, and moving forward I think they're going to have an increased focus on where they want to be as a nation and as peoples moving forward. In terms of native title determinations, I think it's built positive relationships with people across all sort of different avenues in that because even on pastoral leases it's built relationships with pastoralists, and people have had opportunity. As to the future of native title in South Australia, I think we'll be continuing to strive to achieve native title for those groups that don't have it as yet, and we'll be still looking to negotiate consent determinations for those people. In terms of post-native title, we'll be looking to encourage PBCs to manage their affairs in a professional way, to look at improving their governance practices, and to engage in good governance and looking at how they can become sustainable, how they might use finances that come their way and that type of thing in a professional way that looks to the future, not just for the present and that type of thing. So people might set up trusts and they might set up a future account and that type of thing, which looks at ensuring that groups become sustainable and that they're able to deal with matters in their own right, on their own terms, practicing self-determination.